I am selling this Ninja 500. But before I do, I wanted to do a final review of this bike. I've had this bike for about 6 months, so I got a pretty good feel for it. So today we're gonna enjoy one of the last rides on this bike, talk about the pros and cons, and just give my overall opinion of who this bike is for and if it's a good fit for you. And let me just start out by saying this, I really do love this machine, and I'm really sad to see it go. Let's go over some of the pros of this bike. And I think the first one is, as we just saw, is this has a lot of usable power. So although this isn't the fastest bike you can buy, for daily commuting or street riding, this bike's got plenty of power. Along with that, this bike is super easy to ride, and it gets great gas mileage. I feel like it's a happy medium where it's a ton of fun to ride, but it's still good to be a daily commuter or for road trips. You can see right now we're going 80 miles per hour, under 7,000 RPMs. So I know everyone doesn't feel this way, but in my opinion, this is a great highway bike. I mean, look, you can see we're going 100 miles per hour, still under 9,000 RPMs. Okay, now let's talk about cost. You can get anywhere from about $5,200 to $6,500 depending on the trim. And for what you get, I feel like that is about right. You may be able to find a couple bikes that are better bang for your buck per se, but it's gonna be hard to find something that's better or matches what these bikes offer in that price range. So overall, value-wise, this is a great bike. So along with that, insurance costs are insanely cheap for this bike. Compared to a bigger sport bike, I mean, it's gonna be night and day difference. Now, obviously that's because there's some differences in power, but if insurance cost is a worry for you, this would be a great option because you're not going to be paying much for full coverage. Say in most cases, you're not going to be paying much for full coverage, maybe unless you're super young or have a bad driving record. But I think for most people, you'll get at least a decent insurance quote on this. But that brings me to the next pro, and that's going to be part availability and upgrade/maintenance cost. So one thing about this bike is it does share a lot of the same components as the old Ninja 400. And so even though it's only been out for a couple of years, there's already tons of parts readily available. And I've done a couple upgrades and some maintenance on this bike, and everything for the most part is pretty cost friendly. And so that's going to bring me to my last pro of the day, and that is that the overall aesthetic and feel of this bike is good. And obviously that's an opinion. Some people feel differently. But to me, when you look at this bike, when you ride it, when you walk out in your garage and see it, it's just a good looking vehicle. Along with that, when you do ride it, it draws a lot of attention. And again, overall, it's just a good feeling machine to be on. Okay, now let's go over some cons of this bike. And the first one's related to the last pro, and that is this bike does draw a lot of attention. I mean, I haven't showed this, but I have had a couple run-ins with law enforcement. I did walk away from one with a pretty fat ticket. I mean, which is whatever. I was doing something illegal, to be honest. But point being, I do stuff like that all the time in my Talaria, and I'll literally go past law enforcement or whoever, and usually they just let it go. I think because that bike's less assuming, it's electric. But even if I had like a naked or like a cruiser bike, I think I'd get away with a lot more. But when you're driving a Kawasaki green Ninja 500, I mean, you know, it is what it is. Just know if you're trying to get a more low-key bike, I definitely would at least get a different color. But overall, sport bikes do just attract more attention, wanted or unwanted. Now, the next con of this bike, which isn't a big deal for everybody, but it was for me, if you want something that's going to get your adrenaline going or maybe go higher speeds, or in my case, get something you can kind of stunt on, it's not that this bike can't handle it, it's just slightly underpowered for those type of activities. Already running into the same issue of why I kind of want to get rid of my Triple X. You can wheelie this bike, but you got to start out going a little slower than a bigger bike. And you can definitely do some high-speed runs, but again, you're not going to be winning roll races. For what I'm trying to accomplish with my bike, something with more torque would be nice. Even if it's just a little bit, like an R7 or something like that, you can be going 30, 35 miles per hour and still smoothly pick up a wheelie and not have to throw your whole body into it. So for me, it's like I want something in the middle. I'm not saying I want like a 1000, but yeah, like an R7, MT-07, something along those lines would probably be better for what I'm trying to do. But hey, if you're just looking for a bike to commute around on, rip through the city streets, and occasionally go on a road trip, hit the canyons like this, again, this will be plenty of power. Now, that's gonna bring me to my last con on this bike, and that is the size. If you're like me and you're just an average sized person, you're gonna fit great in this bike. But even me, like I flat foot this thing with my knees bent. It definitely feels a little small at times. So maybe if you're a little bit shorter, a little bit lighter in weight, this might feel perfect to you. You could imagine if I was a bigger person, this bike might feel a little small. That's just something to keep in mind. A bike like a Ninja 650 or like an R7 might work better for you if you are a bigger person. But I will say, just to anybody's point that thinks, oh, these bikes are too small to be in the highway, because I have heard that argument. Even getting like a gust of wind past an 18-wheeler while there's already an active wind gust going, this bike still feels stable. So although I hear that argument, I'm not trying to discredit it, just for me that has been an issue. So the big question, why am I selling this bike? Would I buy it again? who is this bike for? Well, first, I would say this bike's gonna be for anybody that's a beginner looking to get into the sport bike world. If your end goal is to get on a 1000 or whatever, a bigger sport bike, this would be a great place to start because it's gonna teach you the fundamentals. And after a season or two on this, you're gonna feel confident in the basics. And from there, you can either keep riding this and progress your skills, or if you wanted to, I think it'd be perfectly fine to sell this and go get a 600 or a 1K or whatever. And although I still think there'd be a huge learning curve, you would be fine. I think you would know what to do to actually progress at a proper rate. 2, I think this would be a good bike for an experienced rider that needs something that's good on gas mileage, cheap to maintain, and they're just gonna be using for an everyday bike. Maybe you're getting to work on it, running to the store or whatever. Somebody that's almost looking to replace their car with a bike, this could be a great option for you. So why am I selling this bike? This bike just isn't for me. Now that I'm a couple seasons in back to riding, and I just kind of realized what I like doing is doing wheelies and riding trails and doing hill climbs and stuff like that. Really nothing wrong with this bike. I've enjoyed every moment. And so for what's next for me, I don't really know. Maybe something like an R7 or an MT-07. But realistically, I'm thinking about getting a supermoto. If I was going out to canyon roads like this all the time, or using this to get around town more often, I would definitely keep it. But the reality is, although I do find enjoyment in this is just not how I ride usually. I like hitting them city streets and doing wheelies, man. It's just my thing. I don't know why. Yeah, it's my happy place, But I know for some people, this is their happy place, and I totally get that. Again, if this is what you're looking to do with the bike, I think you're really gonna enjoy this machine. Man, what a cool view. You got Brighton over there. And you got Solitude over there. This pretty much marks the end of the Ninja 500 era on this channel. So many memories made with this thing, and I definitely learned a lot. But that's gonna do it for this one. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will catch y'all next video.